This is my spot, buddy, so beat it. Oh, oh, it's you. I haven't seen you in a while. What have you been up to lately, eh? Wait a minute. I know what you really are. It was foretold that you would be here. But I won't let you. Oh. So that's what that does.
Well, see, I just think leprechauns are a little overrated.
Probably. But for me, I think that the jackalopes are real.
Perhaps. On the plus side, anyone who's a fan of Weird Al is a friend of mine.
Oh, that reminds me. Go watch his movie UHF. Very funny.
Oh yeah. Thanks. I'll see you later.
Oh, there you go. There it is. Oh yeah, and there's like 2 other movies included in that thing. I kind of forgot I had this. You know, I wonder how much this is now. Okay, let's see. What? $54.95. That's nuts. I mean, I bought the exact same DVD for $12 maybe? I don't remember. It was quite a while ago. Jeez. Well, what else could I own that's at that price? Oh, here we go. Yeah, this'll do. Alright, let's see how much you are. You gotta be kidding me. Really? That's just crazy. The fact that a certain DVD could be at a high value is just makes no sense. But maybe there's a reason behind it. I mean, with the movie Freaked right here, there's an obvious reason as to why.
The movie got a high budget, but didn't get a wide enough release from 20th Century Fox. Therefore, it didn't get enough money in order to make back what it should have at the box office. Even the DVD that Anchor Bay released seemed to have low quantities, but of course it has received quite a cult following because of the bizarre and weird vibe of the film. So that's probably why the DVD is quite pricey.
But is it the rarest DVD? I don't think so. Even though it's at a high value, maybe I should do some more research on what the rarest DVDs are, and maybe I happen to own some in my own collection. So I'm just going to try and look through and see what I can find to be considered a rare DVD. Basically, DVDs that are out of print, that is, if they even exist. I've talked about DVDs that were canceled before, but some that didn't manage to make it to retailers, but some that have been released, but only maybe for a short while.
I've briefly talked about this DVD before, The History of Beavis and Butthead, mainly because this DVD has certain episodes that were released on it without Mike Judge, the creator's consent of knowing what's on it. So even though it was released to some retailers, it was recalled soon after it was discovered, so it puts it on the list of one of the rarest DVDs with its value around $200 to $250. I even saw one sealed for $1,750. On a bit of a sadder note, after Paul Reubens, the man who played Pee Wee Herman, passed away on July 2023, the internet mourned, but also wanted to get their own hands on the DVD set of the complete series of Pee Wee's Playhouse that Shout Factory released, which means the prices went around $200 to $300. I myself had quite a tough time trying to find these for a reasonable price. I waited too long to obtain it, and it was just scalpers being scalpers. So all I could do was wait until maybe I could find a price I could afford, because I'm not paying $300 for a sealed DVD that went out of print.
Eventually, I broke down after quite a few months of not obtaining it So I finally bought one that was half sealed for around, I think, $120. But then Shout Factory finally took notice and re-released it not only on streaming, but they also re-released it on DVD I saw on eBay for listings for $35. Yeah, patience was never my strong suit. But at least I didn't worry about getting it on Blu-ray because the Blu-ray is twice as much. Heck, even Pee Wee Herman's show on Broadway goes for around $70 to $120.
Speaking of celebrities that passed on, after Norm Macdonald passed away on September 2021, it made me think, how much is the DVD of the complete series of The Norm Show? Well, about $200 to $350. Jeez. Well, thankfully we got a copy before we even knew. That's the thing with DVDs, they're always unpredictable. It's just like video games, comic books, and toys. You just never know why their value goes up most of the time. Like recently, I looked at the price value of Alien Resurrection on the original PlayStation that I bought a couple years ago for around $35. And that game now goes over $100. I only bought that game just a couple years ago just because I wanted to add it to my collection alongside Alien Trilogy. But I guess that's the thing with these types of physical media. If they were made in limited quantities, limited edition releases, exclusives, or they went out of print because companies would lose rights to a certain movie or show, those would probably be the main reason why they would be in high value. But then again, you could get lucky finding a DVD for a good price depending on how you bought it, where you bought it, who sells it, and the condition of it. Other times it's entirely up to luck, like this one for example, the Real Ghostbusters box set. The main reason why this is at a high value is because of its lenticular hologram images of Slimer and the Ghostbusters logo, and this really cool eye-catching design on the outer box. Little things like this I could understand why people would want it, but for $300 or $900 or even...
Hold on, I gotta donate both of my kidneys.
Or if you don't care for that and you just want to watch the series, just stick with the re-release DVD that looks a bit more standard for a cheaper price.
Oh, then there's a cheaper alternative.
Another good example is Smosh the Movie on DVD. This particular item was only available at Walmart, and I've seen listings on eBay go for almost $200 sealed, and pre-owned copies go for around $40. It's just up to whatever, I suppose. Let's talk about Mystery Science Theater 3000. It's a show about a man trapped in space with his robot friends, forced to watch bad, cheesy movies, and they riff on them. A great cult comedy show. One small example is when they were first releasing their episodes in the late 90s from Rhino Video on VHS. One episode that was released on VHS was the movie The Amazing Colossal Man. Though it was released, the tape was later recalled because of the rights issue in it, mainly meaning they probably thought they had the okay to release a copyrighted movie to riff on, but accidentally didn't know. So they stopped releasing it, and they hadn't re-released it on DVD or any media legally since. A similar story happened to the Volume 10 collection on DVD, because of a well-known radioactive Japanese movie monster.
Meatloaf?
Godzilla!
The first movie included in this set was Godzilla vs. Megalon, along with 3 other movies. But after the DVD was released for about 3 months, it was recalled and later upgraded to what's now called Volume 10.2 by replacing Godzilla vs. Megalon with an all-new disc of the movie, The Giant Gila Monster. So you could have had the option to buy the DVD separately in its own small slipcover, which I'm assuming was some kind of online exclusive deal, or you'd buy Volume 10.2 altogether with a new DVD replacing the Godzilla movie. What's funny is that the added bonus feature on the disc shows a couple of the original MST cast members explaining what the upgraded Volume 10.2 is, and to ask you to throw away the Godzilla vs. Megalon DVD and replace it with the Giant Gila Monster. Which I'm betting nobody did, because the original release of this DVD goes for around $150 to $300, while 10.2 just goes for $25 to $40. Of course, with this show, it was a bit of a gray area on how these copyrighted movies could be shown on TV and how they were able to get away with riffing these movies back in the 90s. I mean, they just ripped these from a VHS and they happened to own it and they just watched it. They probably just assumed that most of these ones were in the public domain, maybe. It didn't help that the reputation of Godzilla vs. Megalon's American release forgot to include the copyright at the bottom of the title screen. Therefore, there were so many copies of that movie on VHS. However, had they not released this DVD by accident, I may have never been the MST3K fan that I am now when I stumbled upon this at my local Goodwill. But of course nowadays they need to get the rights to all these kinds of movies in order to release them physically and legally. Like volumes 14 and 17. When Shout Factory got the rights to release more MST3K episodes on DVD when they released it back in 2009 and 2010, volumes 14 and 17 went out of print in 2016 and 2017 due to losing the rights of Soul Taker and The Final Sacrifice. So that's why those particular ones are quite rare and out of print for around $60 to $175. So what about the other remaining episodes? Well, they re-released the remainders in what's called the Lost and Found collection. However, something on a bit more of a confusing side was on volume 34. It was released in late 2015 and went out of print on January 2020. I did my best to research as to why because the wiki page didn't give any info, so I believe it seemed that when the DVD was released on the disc of Viking Women vs. the Sea Serpent, a documentary about American International Pictures was included, and the actress Susan Hart sued Shout Factory because the documentary included stills from the movies that she owns the rights to, which in all honesty is really dumb as to why it's really rare. When I got the chance to buy it, I saw listings around $300 for it, but as of now, I can't even find a listing of it on eBay. So who knows if that DVD will ever see the light of day again because fans really want to see it and the other episodes. But I think the only way to see those episodes now is by paying an arm and a leg or seeing it through free streaming. Now a bit more of an obscure side, back when Rhino Video first released these collections on DVD, volumes 2 and 3 only included 3 episodes, and the 4th disc included a collection of shorts, volume 1 and volume 2. Basically, some MST3K episodes would have them watch a short before they watch their feature presentation. So I guess they decided to compile them onto 3 volumes. Now the way they released the volume 3 DVD is a bit strange. Back in the early 2000s, if you ordered the Essentials collection through Rhino's online website, you would have gotten a bonus disc of Shorts Volume 3 included with the other 2 episodes. I don't own it, but I have no reason to. When Shout Factory got the chance to re-release 5 episodes that were originally released individually on DVD, they re-released them on the Singles collection that also included Shorts Volume 3. Now, moving on to other topics, Classic Media had the rights to release some of the classic Showa-era Godzilla movies on DVD, which are now out of print, and only a couple of them are a bit pricey depending on who's selling it. Mainly the Rodan and War of the Gargantuas double feature DVD that goes around $85 to $165. But when Classic Media released 3 volumes of the Hanna-Barbera animated series of Godzilla, supposedly they didn't sell as well as they'd hope, like with the King Kong animated series DVDs. Volumes 1 and 2 are a bit iffy, but Volume 3, for whatever reason, goes around $280. Heck, even when the original Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla DVD was released, it's been a bit spotty on prices. Speaking of which, when Echo Bridge got the chance to release Godzilla vs. Biollante for the first time on DVD, it was a big deal. When I got my copy in my stocking for Christmas many years ago, it was so cool. It even got re-releases with 2 bonus movies that nobody would even care about. The DVD with just the one movie, of course, goes for around $35 to $90. When it has the other 2 movies included, it's $45 to $100. Again, it just depends on who's selling it. On the other hand, the Blu-ray releases apparently go for twice as much. With the movie itself, it's $118 to $260. With the other 2 movies, it's around $140 to $240. Odd, I know. Now, when the Rebirth of Mothra movies got released on DVD here in the US, they only had her first 2 movies released on DVD as a double feature, but her 3rd film was missing. Eventually, the entire trilogy was released on Blu-ray. I don't remember how I got my copy, maybe it was at Best Buy at the time, and I'm pretty sure I got it cheaply just when it got released. But now it's out of print and goes for around $100 to $160. Now, back when 4Kids released the Ultraman Tiga series on DVD in the 2000s, they released only the Japanese version, because the English dub was lost from Fox Kids. So they released it as a starter box set with a 2-disc Volume 1 DVD and a free t-shirt included. The idea was to buy the other DVDs to include in the box set once the other DVDs were released. But of course now it's a bit dumb to do something like that because it would make more sense just to release the entire series altogether. Volumes 1, 2, and 4 don't go for a whole lot, but for whatever reason, Volume 3 is very rare and expensive to find. Why? Maybe it was in limited quantities because not too many people were buying the DVDs, yet Volume 4 is as obtainable as the first 2. Maybe it was just limited and had 2 different covers? Who knows? But I've seen listings of it go for over $200 to $300. But of course, if you don't want that, Mill Creek managed to re-release the complete series, plus a movie included. However, they weren't able to get the rights to the original music soundtrack, just like the first release did. Bummer. Remember that 30-minute short movie Kung Fury that you saw on YouTube? Yeah, I'm still waiting on the sequel. But anyway, apparently when it released, a Kickstarter sold some copies of the movie on DVD. I haven't seen any listings of it or any images of the DVD, but supposedly, as I've seen on a couple websites, it goes for around $300. But the Blu-ray, of course, is even more expensive. Here's one I found for $1,000? Could this be the most rare one? Now, you may or may not know about the 1966 Hanna-Barbera cartoon show Space Ghost. But apparently in the 90s, some guys on Adult Swim made a talk show series recycling Space Ghost clips and interviewing celebrities called Space Ghost Coast to Coast, and somehow the show managed to be released on DVD. Volumes 1 through 3 go for around $25 to $50, but for whatever reason, it seems that after Volume 1 they cared less and less about the cover art. Volume 1 looks professional looking, Volume 2 looks like a cheap bootleg, and Volume 3 just looks lazy. But apparently with Volume 4, they didn't even care. It's just a blank white space, but they released it on DVD anyway. I didn't see any listings of this on eBay, but Amazon had a couple for around $57 to $60. However, Volume 5, with a much better looking cover, goes for around $200 to $300. Supposedly, Volume 6 was also released, but it's labeled as Volume ? With an indescribable cover. But I can't even confirm if this volume was even a legitimate release because this cover looks even more of a cheap bootleg than volumes 2 and 4. Even the disc itself isn't labeled. Now here's more of an obscure movie, a documentary about celebrities like Dan Aykroyd, Gilda Radner, John Candy, and Cheech and Chong talking about old cheesy movies of Ed Wood and Roger Corman movies. It came from Hollywood. I loved watching this as a kid and only had the access to watching it when it was recorded on TV on a VHS. It was released on VHS legitimately and on Laserdisc, but what about DVD? Well, I looked it up, I found an image of it, but I found no legitimate listings anywhere. So, could this be the rarest DVD ever? If there's just an image but can't be found and not even a price, could that make it the rarest? Or maybe it doesn't even exist.
I'm just not getting enough answers. I need to find the rarest DVD ever made, even if I just go to eBay and type in rare DVDs and filter it to the highest price. That's not good enough. I need to do more research. I need to find out what the rarest DVD in the world can... Where am I? Hey! You're awake. I was wondering when you would. Maybe because you hit me upside the head. I'm sorry. But I had to. Otherwise, you wouldn't cooperate if you saw me. What are you talking about? Oh, no. What? How? I'm here to stop you from what you're about to do. What? What did I do? When you went on your rant about trying to find the rarest DVDs ever made, it drove you mad. To the point where you're completely obsessed. Doing research online just wasn't cutting it for you. So you went deeper and deeper. Eventually, you wound up gathering a group of people to help you find them. But soon it went bad. It turned into an army. An army that went out of control. Your obsession went too far. Your army made a machine that would allow you to transport to multiple universes and obtain other rare DVDs that didn't exist in your universe. Soon after the matter, it broke a rift in my universe and yours. So now the only way to put the universes back in balance is by destroying one universe's timeline or the other. Which means your universe gets destroyed or mine. What? Okay, that makes no sense. You're looking right at me. There's no other way it can't. But I don't want my universe to be destroyed. You clearly have the worst fate. Why can't you sacrifice yours? I have no choice, and I can't go back until I stop you. Okay, wait. Hold on. I know how we can settle this properly. To determine whose universe will be sacrificed, we'll be on a game of foosball. First one to hit 9 goals wins. You're on. What are you doing? I'm not letting my universe go to waste because of a stupid decision like this. Sorry, future me. But I'm not letting my universe go down in your arms. I decide my fate. Then your fate is termination. They just don't make them like they used to. Uncle Arnold? Oh, hey, how you doing? What the hell were you doing on the roof? Sorry, I was trying to find the outhouse, but I got a little lost, a little off track. We don't have an outhouse. Okay, a porta-john, or whatever it is you kids call it nowadays. Oh, that's where I put my clothes. It's silly of me. Some bum tried to tackle this off of me earlier today. But I've told people before, I don't do trades. Except with zucchini bread. Well, thanks for dropping by. Well, literally. Well, I'll see you around. We're still on for Thanksgiving at your place, right? Yes, Uncle Arnold. Such a crazy idiot. It's pumpkin pie.
Incoming transmission.
Hey, have a quick question. What are your thoughts on artificial intelligence?